If you don't know who this is, you're probably on the wrong side of history. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ricky Patrick, and today is the first episode of How to Entrepreneur. We'll be focused on Black Tech CEO and founder Dawn Dickson and the traits she's exhibited to become successful. But before we get started, do me a favor, subscribe, hit that little bell so you can catch all future episodes. So, who is Dawn Dickson? Inventor, four-time founder, and keynote speaker. Oh, and she's the first Black woman to raise over $1 million in a secure token offering. This is the highest STO crowdfunding round from the general public in the history of Black founders. You might also be wondering why this is important. And you might also be wondering what is crowdfunding. And trust me, we'll get there. Most minority tech entrepreneurs struggle to obtain funding from venture capitalists and angel investors because racism, sexism, classism, pickenism. So if you're an entrepreneur, how do you get funding without either one of these two? This is where crowdfunding comes into play. Crowdfunding allows regular people to invest in startups. For most people in this country, especially Black folk, we don't usually have a rich uncle or parents who can afford to donate or invest into our entrepreneurial ideas. Let's be real for a second. She's a Black woman. They're easily the most disrespected group in the entire country.
Even women in general only get 8%. So this is just like not even a Black woman thing. The Black woman statistic is so dreadful, but women in general that's dreadful. To say 8% of women, period, are getting venture capital funding. When it comes to like venture capital, that women, we're in a movement as women to break barriers for other women. So when I hear the 0.2, I say, okay, I can make a change. I can make a difference. I've already beat that because I've raised funding. So I've already defied that 2%. So, it took me 5 years to get my first venture capital investment, but, I want to be the change that I want to see.
Do you now see the dilemma? This brings us to Dawn's first valuable trait, perseverance. She overcame incredible odds and is still grinding. Her most current venture, PopCom, was recently funded with $1 million using equity-based crowdfunding. Ordinary, everyday people pulled their money together to invest in a company and its Black female CEO. This seizes power away from the traditional venture capitalists and angel investors, redistributing it to the startup. This is a unique opportunity to assist in the creation of diversity and inclusion in industries that are typically dominated by white people, specifically white males. There are already 2,672 other investors who agree with me that there needs to be some kind of change. And quite frankly, there needs to be more, which is why I invested in them. Disclaimer, I invested in PopCom. PopCom is the future of retail. They're about to disrupt an industry similar to the way Elon Musk and Tesla are disrupting the automotive industry. PopCom is at the forefront of a movement with an automated retail technology platform for vending machines and kiosks that allows retailers to engage and understand customers, sell more products, and learn from big data. The most compelling point is their pilot runs. She's partnered with Procter & Gamble, Creamer's Coffee Shop, and a top 3 global winemaker. Now, these names may not mean anything on the surface, but we're talking about several top corporations in huge industries that are looking to be revolutionized by PopCom. If you don't know who Procter & Gamble is, just pick up your box of tissues or toothpaste and it's a good chance you'll probably see their logo. P&G is the #1 producer of consumer products in the entire world. Creamer's Coffee Shop is the premier cannabis shop in the Netherlands. I know they're in the Netherlands, but in the US, cannabis and marijuana is $1 billion industry waiting to happen, pending federal legalization, of course. And the top 3 global winemaker has sales in over 90 countries. There's probably a reason why their name hasn't been revealed, but nonetheless, 90 countries. It's apparent that these top companies are paying attention to what Dawn is doing and why she's a problem solver. And that brings us to her second valuable trait, problem solving. If you can create a solution to a company or industry's shortcoming, you better believe someone will pay you for it. Amazon solves the problem of you needing to go to a store. Netflix solved the problem of going to Blockbuster. And now they're solving the problem of needing to go to the movies. I'm willing to bet that you probably have one of these services, or at least the homies login. The birth of PopCom has everything to do with the limitations of one of her other startups, Flat Out Heels. Dawn went out and created a chic, durable, and rollable flat that could easily be purchased in a vending machine. Once again, she solved the problem, and it makes total sense. A lot of women wear heels to work, to a wedding, or to the club. Then they either take them off or complain how their feet hurt. 3 hours is the average that a woman can walk in heels. So at this point, you're at a crossroads. Tough it out or walk barefoot. Seeing how neither of these are viable options, vending machines with fashionable flats solve this problem. What does this have to do with Popcom? Well, for one, vending machines aren't smart. She could sell a bunch of flats and not know a thing about the customer. The more you know about your customer, the more you can cater to their needs. You can improve upon the product, new colors, better fit, better material. You want to create a culture where they'll come back. You want to convert them into dedicated and loyal consumers. It is extremely hard to do that without any valuable data. Thus is the creation of smart vending. Now, I stumbled upon Don Dickson way before I even heard of Popcom. I was watching The Breakfast Club. I wasn't really looking to learn anything, but it kind of just happened. I was really looking for some foolishness to mentally escape from work, but it got my wheels turning because her idea was simple yet practical. But one of the most hidden gems I picked up was this.
So for years I worked in marketing and promotions for athletes and entertainers in Atlanta. And, my network just came through when I was like, I have this good idea. Can you help me get some placement?
This is valuable trait number 3, networking. Making the right connections can be the difference in the level of access one has to certain opportunities. Additionally, this is something that I need to work on. Dawn used her connections to land her first vending location. Make no mistake, an airport is a prime location. The sheer number of people moving in and out is ridiculous. Not to mention that the Atlanta airport is an international airport. So we're talking about exposure from all over the globe. Furthermore, Dawn doesn't just use her connections from her past work experience, but also actively participates within the industry. She consistently makes her presence known in conferences and seminars that are targeted towards people in the tech industry, especially those centered around Black people and Black women. Networking in places where you have the ability to be heard is vital. Your thoughts and your ideas have a higher chance of being realized. The more open ears you have, the more opportunity there is. But Dawn takes this a step further. She doesn't just participate, she actually speaks at these events. If you happen to take time to watch any of her interviews or speeches, you'll quickly realize that she's an effective communicator. She's very efficient and direct in her storytelling and tells you exactly what she's looking for. And this brings us to trait number 4, communication. Again, a trait that I personally need to work on, but let's be real, you probably need to work on it too. Dawn's communication is the verbal illustration of her other 3 traits. She describes the obstacles she faces and how she plans to overcome. She lays it out in a plain fashion with a level of fairness that's really admirable. Dawn's stories can elicit familiarity amongst other entrepreneurs in the room. And when familiarity is met with action, partnerships are formed, and when the right partnerships are formed, the obstacles get a little bit smaller and the doors begin to open up a little bit more. But here's the thing, you gotta keep your eyes open. Opportunities are there for the taking if you decide to make yourself aware. Popcom was on the crowdfunding site Start Engine, a place where common folk can monetarily back companies they believe in. You've probably heard of Kickstarter or GoFundMe. I still remember when De La Soul funded an entire album on Kickstarter. Now these are all similar platforms, but they do have fundamental differences. I'm not going to go over every single one, but instead I will go over the 4 different types of crowdfunding. Donation-based, where investors donate money to fund projects and expect nothing in return. It's like giving to charity or a just cause. Then you have reward-based, where investors contribute funds and in return the startup gets back some sort of a reward, like a t-shirt or a hat, some sort of discount. I mean, this is essentially buying merch from your favorite YouTuber or personality. And then you have debt-based, aka peer-to-peer lending, where you loan a company or person and they are responsible for paying you back with interest. It sounds good, but it's just too risky in my opinion. And honestly, I don't like the idea of someone being in debt to me. It gives off kind of these like slavery vibes, and I'm not really with that. So, and plus I've been in debt before, and that is no fun. Then there's equity based. This is by far my favorite kind. When you invest, you become part of the company. You either receive shares of the company and or profits. Now, maybe it's my ego, or maybe I just want to be able to leave something for my family and my people when I pass away. Like I said before, I've invested in Popcom, which makes me part owner. So Don and I are essentially business partners. The first Black woman to raise over $1 million in crowdfunding. Yeah, I can honestly say I was a part of that. And now, I may not have a controlling stake, but it's stake nonetheless. Before I head out, let's do a quick recap on Don's traits. Number 1, perseverance. Overcome the obstacles and setbacks. Number 2, problem solving. The bedrock of all truly successful entrepreneurs. Number 3, networking. Participate and interact with like-minded individuals. Number 4, clearly articulate what it is you want and how you plan to execute. And remember, no one has it all together. If you're weak in any of these traits, don't stress over it. Be gentle with yourself, yet courageous enough to work on it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button. Also, please put your thoughts into the comment section and let me know what you think about Dickson and Popcom. Alright guys, peace.